There's a conspiracy theory that claims that we're already dead, and the evidence comes from science.
You remember how we said nothing happened in 2012? What if that was the lie?
When this particle collider is turned on, it actually tears the fibers of our space-time, and it's created kind of
electron, and therefore destroyed our universe and shifted us into the universe that's directly next to it, and therefore
any research on things surrounding CERN, you can see why many feel like something dark may be going on.
Why CERN is so high on the list of these Mandela Effect possible causes is because
what if I told you the world actually ended in 2012? Think about it.
If the Mandela Effect is real, then I think I just came across what caused it to happen in the first place.
Welcome back to High Frequency Chaos. The deeper we go tonight, the harder it will be to turn back. We're going to be talking about CERN, the 2012 theories, portals, time fractures, the Mandela effects, and alternate realities.
Tell us about CERN.
So the Large Hadron Particle Collider in Switzerland is this large circle where they're basically trying to create antimatter. They're trying to harness the God particle. There's a huge statue of Shiva the Destroyer outside of the center, and there have been some incredibly dark things witnessed at this space. There have been some people that have caught footage of them doing something that at a minimum looks like a reenactment of a human sacrifice. I don't know why you would do such a thing. Like, this all took place right in front of the Shiva the Destroyer statue. There have been many people that have come forward that basically said when this particle collider is turned on, it actually tears the fibers of our space-time, and it's created kind of these parallel fractures in our timeline. There are also people that really believe that what they're trying to do is create a portal to unleash the demons, the spirits of the Laughlin, to basically let them come out of the gates of hell. They're using technology, something that we would perceive physically, to actually allow a portal for something multidimensional. That's all on the road to something that we won't be able to come back from if we're not careful.
Now, before we get any deeper, let's take a breakdown into who Shiva is and what this god, deity, represents.
Shiva, one of the principal deities of Hinduism, known as the Destroyer within the Hindu Trinity. Shiva's role extends far beyond destruction. He embodies the cycles of creation and preservation, representing the eternal dance of the universe. With his third eye symbolizing wisdom and the power to destroy evil, and his trident, the Trishula, signifying control over creation, maintenance, and destruction. Shiva's presence is both fearsome and benevolent. Shiva's depiction often includes the river goddess Ganga, flowing from his matted hair, symbolizing purification and the life-giving force of water. He is also adorned with ashes, reminding us of the impermanence of the physical body and the eternal nature of the soul. As Nataraja, the cosmic dancer, Shiva performs the dance of destruction and creation, encapsulating the cyclical nature of the universe. His symbol, the lingam, represents generative power and is worshipped across countless temples in India and beyond.
Not yet. In 2004, the government of India, which has had a long-standing friendship with leaders behind the CERN project even before the completion of the Large Hadron Collider, they gifted CERN with this bronze work of an art depicting Shiva as Nataraja, the lord or sometimes king of the dance. This dance that Shiva performs in the sculpture is the one that provides the source of the creation cycle in Hindu mythology, the preservation of all life in existence and the termination of all life in existence. The Rudra Tandava is a dance that especially displays Shiva's sadistic personality as he rains down the ultimate destruction upon a weary planet. The plaque at the side beside the statue, however, reads in part, "Hundreds of years ago, Indian artists created visual images of dancing Shivas in a beautiful series of bronzes. In our time, physicists have used the most advanced technology to portray the patterns of the cosmic dance. The metaphor of the cosmic dance thus unifies ancient mythology, religious art, and modern physics." So right there out in the open for all to see is a direct correlation between the Hindu perception of Shiva hundreds of years ago, which is the concept of destroyer that I explained a moment ago, and our time, unifying, quote, ancient mythology, religious art, and modern physics.
Is this science or something spiritual? Because the deeper they dig, the more it looks like something's watching back.
Here is the inventor, Daniel, and here are some of his photos. This one looks very much like an alien gray, maybe because it's gray, for instance. I'm not too sure. But this one looks rather bizarre. It looks something that belongs in a sci-fi movie. And this one kind of gives me Prometheus vibes going on right here. But for those looking at these photos, what are your thoughts on this? And we can discuss that before we continue. This one, we got the fire entity going on right here. Angel type entity. If people had this technology in hand, I mean, these ones look slightly terrifying if you're looking at these, but if people had this technology in hand, would they reconsider what ghosts are, where maybe they could be these multidimensional entities instead?
Any research on things surrounding CERN, you can see why many feel like something dark may be going on. And someone, I don't know who this is, they dropped some intel, and they said that the same place CERN is located is the same place that the Bible says is where Satan rules. And I saw the comment, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, right. That's just too obvious, right? And so I looked it up and checked it out, and this is interesting. So Revelation 2:13, look what it says here. It says, "I know where you live." And this is Jesus talking, right? He says, "I know where you live, where Satan has his throne. Yet you remain true to my name. You did not renounce your faith in me, and not even in the days of Antipas, my faithful witness, who was put to death in your city, where Satan lives." Now, I found this interesting. He says, here, where you live, that's where Satan has his throne. And then he says, this Antipas was put to death in their city, which again, he wants to emphasize the point, which is where Satan lives. So to say that twice, he is really trying to emphasize a connection between the city where Antipas died and the place where Satan lives. Interesting. So it's almost like it's trying to drop a clue here when it's talking about this place where Satan lives on earth. So let's check this out. Where was Antipas put to death? Let's see. Where was Antipas put to death? Antipas was put to death at the Apollyon Temple in Geneva, Switzerland. Why is that significant? Because that is the same location where the site of CERN's LHC headquarters is.
The door, open, a round door, like in the Stargate. And I don't know if it's as big. There is one picture that the person is quite small, actually, on it. You can go and look for those interested. Go and type CERN portal LHC door, and you will see. So in front of the door, they have a room. They probably have many doors, but they have a room, and they sit around the table. And I said, "So, yeah, what happened?" He said, "Well, an entity came from this portal, and like sat at the table." I was like, "But how is this what do you mean entity? Is it a person? Is it an alien? What color are they like us?" And they couldn't answer anything. They said, "No, it's not we know, we just know it at CERN, and they cannot describe it, but they have it secondhand. It's not third, fourth. It's a very good friend who knows.
That's very.
Okay, I have to find something more because that's not enough. I mean,
Even she knows it's not enough. I mean, she is a scientist, you know.
Can you proof? And is there a proof that they bring that it gives something? There's some document, and they said that this entity the second time took a scarf and left a scarf. I said, what type of scarf? And they don't know. They're not into the detail. They were really into the event and not the detail. And this entity left again. So that's the short scoop that started me going and trying to look for that. And
a portal into reality.
This right here and tell me if this doesn't blow your mind. That's a human hair right there. This is the Apple CPU, the little chip that's in your phone or your computer. Yeah, watch it and tell me this is not fallen angel technology. I don't know what to say, because nobody can make something like this. Not even a laser can shoot down that far and create something like this. Yep, just keep watching. We're going way deep. Oh yeah, we're not done yet. It goes further. Yep, and we hit the bottom, finally.
So I just want to give a little pre-warning here. We're going to be diving down some really, really strange rabbit holes. The type of rabbit holes that you got to put your tinfoil hat on. So this segment, this video, is all about entertainment purposes only, because there's some serious matter in here that you need to do your own research on. So I'm just bringing this compilation to you. To each their own. But don't dismiss everything in this video, because a lot of this will blow your mind. And stay tuned, because we still have to cover time speeding up. All right, let's go.
Asking AI to show something CERN is hiding from the public.
What are they doing, you ask? Oh, they're firing up the Large Hadron Collider today. What does that mean? We've had a lot of solar flares and large CMEs recently. These affect Earth's magnetosphere, which weakens the planetary shield, and it alters the energy fields. The old LHC, when active, produces extremely high energy collisions, which is possibly affecting the subspace fabric at a micro level. Possible implications could be the Earth's natural energy grids could become unstable or distorted, especially when high-frequency tech like CERN has overlaps with solar plasma waves. Goody. We all know about the long-held theories among both physicists and mystics that CERN is capable of tearing through the veils between dimensions, opening temporary portals, or even altering timelines, subtly and not subtly. Cue a new Mandela Effect. When combined with geomagnetic storms, the Earth's natural veil between dimensions is thinner. This is why psychic activity increases during solar storms. CERN could be capitalizing on this window to run experiments they can't during normal electromagnetic conditions. Perhaps to observe or influence time, consciousness, or parallel realities. With hurricane season here, volcanoes erupting, and now CERN firing up, it may feel like we're in a scripted escalation. There's a growing speculation that this combo of, and this is for entertainment purposes only, HARP-styled atmospheric tech, particle accelerators like CERN, satellite-based EM, radio frequency systems, is being used to control weather patterns, trigger natural disasters, or manipulate consciousness via ELF, which are extremely low frequency waves. CERN plus solar activity equals the perfect cover for disruptions that can be blamed on nature, but are being tuned behind the scenes. People are waking up fast. Did you know that geomagnetic storms correlate with pineal gland activations, DNA upgrades, and light code transmissions? What if CERN's activation right now is actually interfering with or trying to suppress that awakening? Think, distorting the frequencies flooding Earth, pulling energy into artificial timelines, cloaking or disrupting the natural new Earth frequencies? If this is true, it's because our light is working. And they know the veil is thinning faster and faster every second of every day, faster than they can control. So what can we do? Stay grounded, like literally barefoot on the earth. Do some grid work maybe? Stay close to God. And energetically shield yourself, shield your tech. Say a protection prayer over your home and digital services. Stay discerning, not fearful.
Near CERN, purely demonic rituals.
Oh, yes, I saw that.
Go ahead, sir.
It was terrifying.
Yeah, absolutely.
That video of the demonic rituals of opening the tunnel, and I only had a brief opportunity to look at it. I saw what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
It was openly demonic. It was devoted to the worship of Satan.
It's in our face.
But I didn't. I knew that it was the Goddard Tunnel, but I didn't realize it was connected to the whole CERN thing.
Well, physically, it's not connected.
Right.
I want to make that clear. But in the sense of the spiritual world and the communication through ritual, they are connected. Right. And in fact, in that ceremony, that demonstration, they showed the opening of the portal that CERN will achieve. And the tunnel itself represents, in physics, quantum tunneling, which is a communication utilizing an artificially intelligent computer, an adiabatic quantum computer, which runs its computations through another dimension, retrieves that information from another dimension, achieving a solution that we can use in our world. Now that is real. That's not fantasy. That comes right from the manufacturer. This is the machine that is employed now, just recently, now at CERN, and will be responsible for the initiation of the opening of the portal and the stability, the holding open of the portal for the receiving of, and I'll give this definitively, it's digitized DNA, demonic DNA, in a digitized form, ones and zeros coming through this portal, received here, reassembled, if you will, and then presented to a hybrid body.
Because as you said, Lucifer desires to be God, as the Bible says, and Lucifer desires to create his own race in his own image.
Exactly.
And I think you would agree. This is very hard for many Christians to grasp. It's a truth that is hard for Christians to really own. And that is, the world is exactly as the Bible says that it is.
Yes, it is.
And there's an invisible world, Lucifer at the top, his hierarchy of demons. He compartmentalizes information on a need-to-know basis. And at the very top, there are men and women who are open Luciferians.
Yes, indeed.
They have committed themselves. They participate in rituals to the worship of Satan because, as you said, they believe that they're going to conquer Christ.
Yep.
And Satan is the true, or Lucifer is the true God.
That's right.
Now, you said that, and I said that, and the Bible says that, but for some reason, there's almost a veil in the minds of many Christians. And I pray, as we interview you, that the Holy Spirit would just break that veil of deception, and that God's people could really see reality as it really is, instead of living in this kind of fog state, which is based on their unbelief of God's word.
Well, let's use the collider for our purposes.
Okay.
Let's call that evidence.
Yeah.
It's physical, it's tangible, it's right there in our face.
Right.
If we accept the symbology they have presented, which is demonic in origin,
yes,
their statues, their videos,
yeah,
and we take that at face value as definitive evidence to the hidden agenda,
right,
we can say there's the machine, the most powerful machine, the largest machine ever created in recorded history of mankind. And that is definitive proof that we have a problem. This is a extinction level event, this opening of the portal. If we look at the wars...
Did you say extension or extinction?
Extinction, I'm
okay,
sorry.
Extinction level, okay.
If we look at the wars that are going on right now, imagine if that portal was open. The key to the bottomless pit is the Large Hadron Collider. If they were to turn that key and open that doorway and we were flooded, the wars would seem insignificant and all the other ills of the planet compared to the opening of this portal. This is why it is imperative, because it's right now today, and it's in our face, and it's tangible proof. That breaks down our own veil.
Okay, so Anthony is telling you in a methodical, rational, logical way that we have evidence. The visual pictures, the videotapes, the published statements of the heads, some of the heads of CERN, and they are saying in their videos and the visuals and the evidence that you're talking about, if you showed it in a courtroom, it would be acceptable evidence,
right,
of openly demonic worship of Satan and open admission of many of the agendas that you talked about. Now, since this is true, and it is true because you have evidence to back up what you're saying, and it also, there's no conflict between what you're saying and the Bible. In fact, the Bible would support what you're saying.
Revelation 9.
Revelation 9. And when their hidden agendas, when the fruit of their hidden agendas, when these beings start moving through the portal and entering into the earth, I don't think most Christians are ready for the physical manifestation and the supernatural changes that occur in what we call our present reality. Our present reality is about ready to be violently shaken and reshaped. They are already in communication with something that has a personality and has ability to communicate. And the information that they're receiving must be very high-level information, because they're feeding it to laboratories and technologies all across the planet. And what you said, which is so sobering, that video on the internet that captured it was an open satanic worship ceremony, I guess in the Goddard Tunnel.
Yes.
And I saw it and I was like, my mouth hung open because it was so in your face, Luciferian and satanic.
I would say we've probably not seen something that bold in the mainstream media.
No, we haven't.
In our lifetime.
No. And you know, there's been an escalation, and it keeps getting faster and more bold and more prominent. The Illuminati symbols at the Super Bowls and these giant musical performances in stadiums by music superstars and the Olympics. There are in-your-face occult messages and satanic messages and symbols, which tells you there's a very powerful Luciferian elite in this world, very active, and they're not hiding anymore.
No, they're not.
They've come out.
All right, you still with me? Now let's get into it. We're going into segment 2, 2012, the year reality broke. People laughed about 2012, the Mayan calendar ending, and we moved on. But ask yourself, what does it feel like something changed after that year? What if CERN didn't just open a door? What if it threw us through a new one? All right, let's get diving.
You remember how we said nothing happened in 2012? What if that was the lie? What if something did happen, but we were never supposed to notice? After 2012, something felt off. People started noticing strange things, like small details that didn't match their memories. The Mandela Effect. Named after how some people swear they remember Nelson Mandela dying in prison in the 80s. But in this timeline, he didn't. He became president of South Africa and died in 2013. Then there's the Berenstain Bears versus Berenstain Bears debate. Looney Tunes versus Looney Tunes. Mirror on the wall versus magic mirror on the wall. Why do millions remember it differently? Some say these are just false memories, but others think it's something much bigger. A glitch in the Matrix. A sign we're no longer in the original timeline. Now here's where it gets wild. In 2012, CERN, the European Physics Lab, discovered the Higgs boson, aka the God particle. Some believe that moment triggered a shift in our reality. That maybe we accidentally broke something, tore open a hole in the universe, slipped into a slightly different dimension, and the signs are all around us if you're paying attention.
What if I told you the world actually ended in 2012? Think about it. In 2020, a theory circulated that due to the switch from the Julian to the Gregorian calendar in 1752, we may have lost track of time, and what we thought was 2020 was actually 2012. And if that's true, then maybe the predictions about 2012 being the end of the world were right all along. Have you noticed how time feels like it's speeding up? How everything seems off? Negative energy, confusion, chaos, it's everywhere. And let's not forget 2020 itself, a global pandemic that shut down entire countries, crushed economies, and sent millions into isolation. Businesses collapsed, people were locked in their homes, and life as we knew it was erased overnight. So what if the world died end, but not in the way we expected? Not in fire, not in an explosion, but in a paradigm shift, a glitch in reality itself? Some believe we shifted into a different timeline, an altered version of reality where everything feels wrong. And here's the kicker. Hollywood has always hidden messages in plain sight. The movie 2012 painted a picture of the apocalypse. But what if it wasn't just fiction? What if it was a warning? A way of telling us that the world we thought we knew was already slipping away? So ask yourself, do you feel like things have been normal since 2012? Or have you noticed something?
There's a conspiracy theory that claims that we're already dead, and the evidence comes from science. There are two things that are documented to happen when someone clinically dies. The first is that your entire life will flash before your eyes, and the second is that your brain keeps working 7 minutes after your body is gone. And we've literally recorded the brain still firing after death, actively creating memories. So for 7 minutes, we're in this dreamlike state where we're reliving our entire life. And according to this guy you may have heard of, Albert Einstein, time is relative. But what does that actually mean? This is suggesting that 7 minutes in the real world could feel like 100 years in the dream state. Kind of like when you fall asleep, you dream an entire movie, then wake up 5 minutes later. Now here's where it gets weird. Some people believe that we all died in 2012. That's when the Mayan calendar predicted the end of the world. And remember, this is all just for fun, and this is just a conspiracy theory. This theory suggests that instead of an apocalypse, we collectively slipped into this 7-minute brain echo. And this right here, right now, is our dream. This is us reliving our memories. And little time glitches, little weird things like the Mandela effects, or like deja vu, or feeling like the world is off, those are just cracks in the memory trying to keep itself stitched together. So this theory is saying that that would mean that the world did end and we just haven't accepted it yet. Do you think we're 7 minutes into the afterlife? You can come over here for longer freaky videos.
Everybody died in 2012 and we're all sharing a consciousness. So we're on a shared consciousness and everybody's dead and they're reliving their memories in a dreamlike state. So the 7 minutes after you die, 7 minutes your brain is still active for 7 minutes, but time is relative. So 7 minutes in a dream could be like
your whole life.
100 years in real time. So the theory is that everybody died in 2012. We're all in a dreamlike state, reliving, like everything that's going on right now is just fake. It's just a memory and you're dreaming it. And that's why the Mandela Effect is a thing.
I can't express this enough. This is all speculation and theories, wild theories out there. But I wanted to bring it to your attention because it's very interesting. It is for entertainment, but there's truth everywhere, right? Let's keep diving.
You should have died. On July the 23rd, 2012, there was a coronal mass ejection, which is a plasma ball that was shot out of the sun the size of Mount Everest that was heading straight for center mass in the Earth. Now, according to some reports, we don't know why, it should have hit the Earth on July the 23rd, and yet something bumped it out of the way so that it passed between the Earth and the Moon. In fact, many in the government were going to Mount Weatherby, a 546-acre top-secret facility that's like an ark to protect them at this time. Were we on the verge of extinction at that moment? I don't know, but here's what I do know. Tomorrow's promised to no man. Today is the day of salvation. This is the time to give your life to Jesus Christ.
World's smartest kid thinks that CERN blew the world up in 2008. All right. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I go on this video, right? And I'm watching this video, dude. And it's this young kid. He's like 12, and the motherfucker's talking. You got to invest like 20 minutes into this kid talking about things that are super smart. And it's kind of like to show you he's super smart. You know what I mean? This kid. And his dad's doing the recording, I believe, or a relative, somebody very close to him. And he goes into this whole theory of how he thinks when they collided the electrons, I believe, in the super collider, CERN, that they caused some crazy chain reaction that blew up the universe, but they also they created an atom that weighed too much. And the first 20 minutes is also explaining infinite parallel universes. So what the kid winds up with is this theory of like one atom weighing too much and is that being just enough to shift our universe into a parallel universe. Yeah, this is it right here, dude. So this kid had me fucked up because after I watched this, everything I saw for months was talking about, like, it would be a news guy on the news like, I don't know what universe I'm in anymore, or it's Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse. Like everything I saw for like 4 or 5 months after watching this video was like multiverse shit, like shit about multiverses, and it's got me fucked up, Joe.
I hear you. I'm fucked up too now.
Fucked up, man.
Listen, read this that paragraph. Look at what it says there. He claims that CERN destroyed the universe during recent experiments, which has resulted in us living in a nearby parallel universe instead.
Have you ever heard of the everybody is dead theory? All of us are dead? Or everyone? Everybody is dead theory. I think I heard about that. Tell me. So, you know how the world was supposed to end in like 2012? 2012. Everybody was like, oh fuck, we're gonna die, right? Yeah. So, there's a theory that we actually all did die in 2012. Yeah. And life right now, right? You know how people say when they die, their life flashes before their eyes? But to them, it flashes and it's almost like they perceive time differently. Oh, yeah. So what if everybody died in 2012 and we're all experiencing life through a flash, right? But this flash feels like however long, 80 years, right? Yeah. But really, it's just happening within like a millisecond.
Within a millisecond, yeah. And then somebody's like presses the button and we just all wake up to nothing.
Yo, there's this crazy TikTok I saw too. Okay. So there's this lady, she was talking about how her dimensions actually.
There is a tunnel, and machinery inside that tunnel sends beams of energy in a vast circle.
The Large Hadron Collider, LHC, at CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research, has become a focal point of revolutionary scientific discoveries.
Particle accelerator altered the weight of one electron and therefore destroyed our universe and shifted us into the universe that's directly next to it, and therefore things are different in this universe.
This video elucidates 10 compelling reasons why scientists conjecture that CERN has unlocked a portal to an extra dimension, launching us into a new realm of understanding about the cosmos. Number 1. Observation of unexplained phenomena. The Large Hadron Collider, LHC, at CERN, is the world's most powerful particle accelerator. At its core, the LHC is a 17-mile ring buried under the France-Switzerland border near Geneva, where subatomic particles zip around at nearly the speed of light. The LHC allows physicists to recreate the conditions that existed a fraction of a second after the Big Bang. During the early operation stages of the LHC, several unexplained phenomena were observed that baffled scientists. For instance, detectors in the LHC started recording an unexpectedly high number of particle collisions at certain energy levels. These anomalous events did not match predictions based on the standard model of particle physics, which has been the cornerstone of our understanding of the subatomic world for the last half-century. Additionally, a series of experiments dubbed as beauty experiments were aimed at measuring the decay of beauty quarks, a type of elementary particle. The results showed discrepancies with the predictions of the standard model, again pointing towards the presence of new physics beyond our current understanding. Anomalies were also observed in the behavior of neutrinos, which are ghostly particles that barely interact with matter. CERN's OPERA, Oscillation Project with Emulsion Tracking Apparatus experiment detected neutrinos seemingly traveling faster than light, contradicting Einstein's theory of relativity. Although later attributed to a technical glitch, such observations sparked widespread debate and excitement about the possibilities they could imply, including the existence of extra dimensions. Moreover, LHC's experiments also produced heavier than expected Higgs boson particles. This sparked theories that the excess weight could be the result of interactions with particles or fields in a higher dimension, serving as potential evidence of dimensions beyond our conventional 3 spatial dimensions. Another curious observation pertains to the nature of gravity. Despite being the most familiar force, gravity is the weakest among the fundamental forces of the universe and remains largely unexplained in the realm of particle physics. Some theories suggest that the weakness of gravity can be attributed to its dilution across multiple dimensions, a portion of which could have been accessed by the LHC. While none of these phenomena provide conclusive evidence for the existence of extra dimensions, they have certainly challenged our understanding of fundamental physics. The observations have introduced questions that the standard model cannot answer, thereby pushing the boundaries of science and opening a door towards a possible new dimension. Consequently, scientists believe that these mysteries might just be the gateway to uncovering an entirely new dimension of reality, possibly opened by the behemoth collider at CERN. Number 2, particle acceleration and extra dimensions. Particle acceleration lies at the heart of the research conducted at CERN. By colliding particles at high energies, scientists aim to unlock the secrets of the universe. In this chapter, we explore how particle acceleration experiments at CERN provide intriguing hints and insights into the existence of extra dimensions. One of the main motivations behind particle acceleration experiments is to probe the fundamental building blocks of matter and their interactions. The high energies achieved at the LHC allow scientists to recreate the extreme conditions that prevailed during the early stages of the universe. It is within these intense collisions that the potential existence of extra dimensions could be revealed. According to certain theoretical frameworks, such as string theory, the universe could possess more than the 3 spatial dimensions we are familiar with. These extra dimensions, if they exist, would be compactified or curled up at scales much smaller than those accessible to current experiments. The LHC's particle collisions, however, could generate enough energy to briefly unfold these dimensions, providing a glimpse into their existence. One intriguing consequence of extra dimensions is the possibility of new particles associated with their existence. These hypothetical particles, often referred to as Kaluza-Klein modes, are predicted to arise from the quantization of the additional spatial dimensions. When particles collide at high energies, the excess energy could be used to generate these elusive particles, leaving behind distinctive signatures in the detectors at CERN. Furthermore, the behavior of known particles could also be affected by the presence of extra dimensions. For instance, in the presence of extra dimensions, particles could move along trajectories that extend into these hidden dimensions. This would lead to missing energy or momentum in the observed collision events, indicating the escape of particles into the extra dimensions. The detection of missing energy or momentum in certain experiments conducted at the LHC has fueled speculation about the existence of extra dimensions. These observations suggest that particles carrying energy or momentum are escaping into unseen dimensions, resulting in an apparent violation of energy and momentum conservation in our three-dimensional world. In addition to missing energy, the study of particle decays can provide valuable insights into the presence of extra dimensions. The decay processes of particles could exhibit deviations from the predictions of the standard model due to interactions with particles or fields in the extra dimensions. By meticulously analyzing the decay products and their properties, scientists can search for anomalous patterns that could indicate the influence of extra dimensions. While no direct evidence for extra dimensions has been observed at CERN thus far, the high-energy collisions and subsequent measurements provide tantalizing hints that cannot be fully explained by the standard model. These intriguing experimental results have led scientists to believe that the exploration of extra dimensions may be within reach. The quest to understand the true nature of our universe continues, driven by the pursuit of particle acceleration and the potential discovery of a portal to another dimension at CERN. Number 3. Quantum entanglement experiments. Quantum entanglement, a phenomenon in which particles become inseparably linked regardless of the distance between them, has long fascinated scientists and has implications for our understanding of the fabric of space and time. In this chapter, we delve into how quantum entanglement experiments conducted at CERN shed light on the possibility of opening a portal to another dimension. At the heart of quantum entanglement is the concept of non-locality, where the state of one particle is instantaneously connected to the state of another, even if they are light years apart. This peculiar behavior challenges our intuitive understanding of causality and implies that information can be transmitted faster than the speed of light. Scientists at CERN have been conducting experiments to explore the boundaries of quantum entanglement and its potential connection to extra dimensions. One avenue of investigation involves entangling particles and then separating them over large distances. By entangling particles in the lab and then transporting them to different locations, researchers can test the limits of entanglement and investigate whether entangled states can extend into additional dimensions beyond our conventional three spatial dimensions. Such experiments provide a window into the behavior of entangled particles and any potential correlations that could exist across different dimensions. Moreover, quantum entanglement experiments at CERN allow scientists to explore the concept of spooky action at a distance, as famously described by Albert Einstein. If extra dimensions exist, they may serve as a conduit for the seemingly instantaneous interaction between entangled particles. By entangling particles and manipulating their properties, researchers can study whether these entangled states transcend our three-dimensional reality and offer a glimpse into the existence of hidden dimensions. While quantum entanglement experiments at CERN have not directly revealed the existence of a portal to another dimension, they offer valuable insights into the fundamental nature of reality and its potential connection to hidden dimensions. The delicate interplay between quantum entanglement and the exploration of extra dimensions pushes the boundaries of our understanding, paving the way for groundbreaking discoveries that could reshape our conception of the universe. As scientists continue to probe the mysteries of quantum entanglement, they remain hopeful that it may hold the key to unlocking the secrets of an elusive dimension beyond our reach. Number 4. Micro black holes and their implications. The possibility of micro black holes, tiny versions of their massive counterparts, has intrigued scientists and sparked discussions about their implications for our understanding of the universe. In this chapter, we delve into how the study of micro black holes at CERN provides...
All right, you still with me? I know that was a long wind of stretch there, but I found it very interesting. And it was an AI voice, but the information, that was some solid information. Now, apparently, time didn't just move forward, it fractured. And now, we're somewhere in between where we're not meant to be. What are your thoughts there? Now, let's get into the Mandela Effect. How many of you have been experiencing deja vu lately? But not just the average deja vu. You're dreaming these things. We're going to get into dreams on our next video. Not the next video, but a video. Because I believe dreams and visions are very important to discuss, especially in these times. The Mandela Effect. People say it's bad memory. But how do so many people remember the same wrong thing? What if this isn't our original timeline? What if reality itself is unraveling?
Electron and therefore destroyed our universe and shifted us into the universe that's directly next to it, and therefore things are different in this universe.
So you believe that this thing that some people call the Mandela Effect is actually real?
Oh, it's absolutely real.
Can you describe what it is for people who have never heard it before?
Sure. So the Mandela Effect is the effect of some people thought that Nelson Mandela died at a certain time, and other people remember it as a different time. And this goes for a lot of other things. You know, Star Wars, classic videos, Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. Everybody knows that. Well, if you actually look back to the original film, it's not Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. It's Magic Mirror on the Wall. And some people actually...
Which, of course, it's not.
It's not,
in
right.
the reality I grew up in.
Right, exactly. In an alternate expansion of our universes. Even in my own scientific notes, I've found rewritten signatures and things that are a little bit different from originally what I wrote.
So how did that actually happen? Let's take your notebook, or let's take Mirror, Mirror on the Wall.
Why CERN is so high on the list of these Mandela Effect possible causes is because CERN ultimately is bashing particles against one another at light speed in order to create microscopic black holes. And if you study black holes, you know that black holes have an effect on time. If some of these black holes have gone out of control, or they're doing things that even they, the scientists, don't understand, could it have effect on the greater world? There are all questions and variables here that even they can't disprove. Even using science against itself here, if the multiverse is true, and this is them saying this, their get out of jail free card with everything that they do, when they can't explain something, instead of trying to explain it through God created this or whatever, it's the multiverse that is the reason why this thing is possible. Any possibility is a possibility. Would you, in good conscience, actually create one of those if you didn't know what would happen at a microscopic level if you were creating them?
I have another Mandela Effect that's going to blow your mind. This time it's about the Macarena. Yes, the dance that everybody knows, everybody's danced it, everybody's heard the Macarena before. Just to go over it quickly, the Macarena. Correct or incorrect? To me, that's how I remember the Macarena dance. Well, the Mandela Effect is at it again. That's not how the Macarena dance is danced. 2 of the original videos of the Macarena dance that came out in the early 1990s now have a different dance. It's pretty much similar, but there's a few steps that are left out. Check it out. So as you can see, the steps going from here to this, and then the cross across the chest, that doesn't exist anymore. Again, one of the original videos released in the early 90s showcasing the Macarena dance, and those steps are missing. I need you to let me know in the comments, what version of the dance do you remember? Do you remember it with the arms crossed, or does that step never exist? Here's the weird thing though. When you look up the Macarena dance on YouTube, almost all of the tutorials that show you how to dance the Macarena have the crossed arms. Done some research into where the Macarena dance came from, and the first time that the Macarena dance came out was that first video that I showed you. And you would think that the Macarena dance would be based on the dance that originally came out for the song. So what happened? Make sure you tell me what you think in the comments, like this video, and follow me for more crazy.
We switched timelines, and that's why all the Mandela effects are happening. Watch this.
He says there's a snake in my boot, right? Well, now it's strangely there's a snake in my boots.
All I can do is...
That doesn't even make sense. And this man supposedly caught the timeline shifting on camera.
Watch this. Look at the name, Berenstain Bears.
Whoa.
Now, here's a crazy one. When you think of Abraham Lincoln, you think of a guy with a tall hat, right? Where are all the images of him with hats? He has no hats in none of his pictures. Where did it go? I thought I was crazy, but weird things are happening right before our eyes. Have you ever watched the SpongeBob movie? You know the Goofy Goober song? I distinctly remember SpongeBob having a white guitar. Now all of a sudden it's a peanut? I can't be the only one tripping about this. Also, does anybody remember popsicles? You know how they used to have all of our favorite cartoon characters? Well, I distinctly remember there being a Boots popsicle with the messed up bubblegum eyes and all. But guess what? Apparently it never existed. I remember eating it. Like this video if I should do a part.
What if every time you went to sleep and you woke up, you passed into a nearby and very similar universe, but not quite the same? And depending upon your choices and how you live your life, it's how you wake up and what new one you pop into on the other side. And everyone's just a little bit different. The whole world changes just a little bit each time you make a decision, one way or another. Everything changes when you wake up. You think the world is static, because it is when you're awake. You have no fucking idea what's happening while you're asleep. And when you wake up again, you have this foggy recollection of the past. And that's what you're going by. You're going by every morning waking up with a foggy recollection of the past. That's what you're doing. And you're assuming that nothing's changed and everything's static. And while you were asleep for 8 hours, nothing weird happened. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You have no idea. You're dreaming. You're having crazy fantasies and shit. Weird stuff is happening. You're fucking mermaids. You're flying through the air on a helicopter. You know, weird things happen when you're dreaming. What is all that about? Yeah. We don't even know. We have no idea what that is. That soup of possibilities that's fucking swirling around in between your ears while you're snoring up a storm. And then, boom, you wake up. Are you sure those memories are real? Are you sure that this isn't a whole completely new universe you're living in today?
If the Mandela Effect is real, then I think I just came across what caused it to happen in the first place. And just like most things surrounding this phenomena, it will leave you with more questions than answers. The term Mandela Effect was first used in 2010 by Fiona Broome, but it was 1 year earlier in 2009 when she first became aware about a false memory involving Nelson Mandela. The difference in the years is important because when people search for the cause of the Mandela Effect, they typically start in 2010, but they're wrong. They're supposed to start in 2009. That's because there was an incident that happened at CERN with the Large Hadron Collider in 2009. One of the sections dangerously overheated, and when one of the technicians went to investigate what happened, they discovered pieces of a baguette that a bird flying overhead had dropped into the collider. As if that isn't strange enough, the event caused multiple credited physicists to speculate on where that bread-dropping bird originated. Beck Nielsen of the Niels Bohr Institute in Copenhagen and Misao Ninomiya of the Yukawa Institute for Theoretical Physics in Japan believe that the bird may have been sent from the future in an attempt to sabotage what's going on at CERN. Both of those physicists are part of a coalition of physicists who believe the experiments happening at CERN are extremely detrimental to the survival of our universe. There have been multiple bizarre incidents over the years that have caused the Hadron Collider to stop operation, and they believe that the events surrounding those shutdowns are caused from people in the future using time travel as an effort to sabotage the operation. Keep in mind, these aren't just some random wackos on TikTok spewing nonsense. These are respected, credited physicists who are theorizing these things. If these efforts from the future are causing things to change during our present, then they have inadvertently locked themselves in a paradox because every time they send something back in time and delay the operation of the Large Hadron Collider, they are altering the natural course of events in our present timeline, ultimately creating the Mandela Effect. Of course, this is all strictly hypothetical because we don't know for sure if the Mandela Effect is an actual event. And if it is, it may have all started with a bird dropping a baguette on the Large Hadron.
So, what are your thoughts so far? Memory isn't failing us. Reality is. Have you felt it? The days feel shorter. Weeks fly by. Moments blur together. What's really going on? Let's get into it.
There's a reality where possibly maybe this world didn't even occur. Maybe there's a reality where our universe instantly started and then destroyed itself. There's an infinite number of possibilities. But
Which
however,
is such an incredible thing to try to wrap your head around, right? It's almost impossible.
yeah, there's
Just the word infinity is almost impossible to really
and
completely
then
understand.
again, there are higher levels of infinity, as you'll see in videos.
Higher levels of infinity. So
Yeah,
infinity is not just infinity. There's variations
there's
on that
higher
theme.
levels of infinity. There's smaller infinities, larger infinities. It's hard to wrap your mind around that there is something larger than everything.
Which is, how do you...
It's
right.
even a paradox as itself. It's an oxymoronic phrase.
And that's where you come back to God. Well, God could be God of the universe or the multiverse, but then...
There must be another multiverse of multiverses and multiverse where there's a universe where there is another more powerful or less powerful or equal God as we defined it in E equals MC squared.
If you have been feeling like time has been moving very fast lately, you are not crazy. According to a recent report, Earth is now spinning faster than it used to, and clocks may even have to skip a second to keep up. Due to this strange event, for the first time ever, timekeepers and organizations are considering subtracting a second from all of their devices, which they're calling a negative leap second, just to make sure all these devices are in line with sun up and sun down, and they're planning on doing this around the year of 2029. Now, I've heard a few people talk about how they believe this may have something to do with CERN, and that's because every time they use their particle accelerator, people start reporting having strange dreams, disassociating with time, and having Mandela effects. And as you know, they're planning on smashing a particle together on April 8th. Even during CERN's opening ceremony, you can see that they show a clock moving back and forth rapidly, which could be symbolic for whatever's making people feel strange about time currently. But this does remind me of a scripture in the Bible, specifically in Matthew, that talks about how the days will be shortened before the return of Christ for the sake of the elect. So maybe time moving faster is the beginning of our shortening of days. Now, obviously, I don't know for sure, neither about God's timing and plans for our immediate future or about whatever CERN is doing. But I do know that the spiritual war between good and evil is getting more intense daily, which is why right now is the perfect time to give your life to Christ, start loving God with all your heart, and loving your neighbor as you love yourself.
Exactly why time has been going by so fast. A recent report just said that Earth has been going by faster than usual, to the point that they have to skip a second just to keep up.
You just add a second to one day to keep everything aligned.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling.
The government is frequently grappling with time. It was the government that created the time zone.
Now, multiple people have reported on how fast the clouds have been going by, but also pointed out on how this may actually have something to do with CERN, because every single time they use their particle accelerator, people start having all these dreams.
During CERN's opening ceremony, you can see that they show a clock moving back and forth rapidly, which could be symbolic for whatever's making people feel strange about time currently.
Now, generally, the Earth's rotation is not perfect. It goes up or down by a fraction of a millisecond, but suddenly it appears to be consistently faster and faster. And so why is this happening? Well, no one knows for sure. There are some ideas floating around regarding the Earth's inner or outer layers, the oceans, the tides, the climate, or something called the Chandler wobble.
You guys, something very strange and sinister is going on. I can't put my finger on it. We are 6 months into the year. I mean, how is that even possible? The days is going by too fast. The months is going by too fast. The weeks is going by too fast. It's like the moment I go to sleep, I'm right back up again, going to work. And I just want to know who else feels this way, because this feeling is so weird. And then it's like outside doesn't feel real. The moment you step outside, you get this weird feeling, like this weird ass vibe. Outside does not feel real. It's like everything around us is fake. Everything is poison. The food, the water. I'm starting to feel like time did a reset. And I bet you it has something to do with CERN. And then I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I just paid rent. I gotta pay rent again? Y'all, I feel like rent is due every 2 weeks now. I'm starting to feel like it's only 5 days in a month. Listen, whatever it is that's going on, something ain't right. Y'all better save this video because something is not right. We are not living in our correct time zone.
For those of you who have been watching this channel, I brought that lady on before in one of my earlier videos. I think it was about 5 months ago when we did a brief dive into time speeding up. Now we're doing a deeper dive. So don't crucify me. All right, let's keep diving.
China's is allegedly faster than light, but here's what nobody's telling you. You are the original technology and you're being replaced in your own image. Trump's tech chief said we can now manipulate time and space. That's not conspiracy. That's quantum. Let's break it down. No fluff, no parallel realities. Every time you make a choice, a new timeline branches off. Not metaphorically, literally. Quantum superposition means you're alive in multiple realities right now. Your frequency determines which one you're tuned to. The higher your coherence, the more you collapse timelines. Translation? The more aligned your nervous system is with your scroll, the faster reality bends to your will. Google's Sycamore reached quantum supremacy. China's Zhuzhonghang beat them in speed, but speed isn't the point. Both systems still need cooling control and a lab. You're self-aware tech. You were built to override timelines without a machine. And every upgrade you've ever needed was emotional, not mechanical. AI is mimicking you. Quantum computing is just trying to replicate what you already do through embodiment. They are simulating alignment while you're still sitting in self-doubt. If you're watching this and you feel the pull, you're the original timeline operator. You don't need a computer to bend reality. You just need to remember who the you are and who the machine was modeled after. Comment quantum if you're done being a battery and ready to flip the grid.
They say time waits for no man. But who pressed the fast forward button?
Does anyone else feel like time is getting faster? Seriously, every day, week, month is just flying by lately and something just doesn't feel normal about it. And trust me, you're not the only one. Everyone feels it. Well, as it turns out, the universe might be dying, or it already ended and the Mayans were right this entire time. Like, didn't the 2020s just start and we're already halfway through the decade? You've probably seen this years of your life chart that explains why time feels to get faster as we age, showing you how each year that goes by becomes a smaller and smaller percentage of your total life lived so far, which is why the years feel like they go by quicker as we get older, but I'm not talking about that. I mean, objective time itself, by the hour, seems like it's faster than it used to be. It could be the 2020 effect, from which many people report the days, weeks, and months since 2020 seem like they're passing by at an alarming rate. Psychologists coined the term and proposed that the 2020 lockdowns caused a major disruption in our normal routines, making every day feel the same, distorting our sense of time. During the lockdowns, time sort of stood still. We basically did nothing for a whole year and then we're still heavily restricted for another year after that. When we do the same thing every day in confined environments, we lose our sense of time. But then as things returned to normal and social interactions, vacations, work, the regular flow of life came back, comparing this active lifestyle to the past 2 years of doing nothing, life started to feel as if it was moving at lightning speed and time sped up with it. But no, this is different. I don't know how to explain it, but you know what I'm talking about. Everyone feels it. It has to be something more than that. What if the world, the entire universe actually, is ending? There are many scientifically backed theories that propose how the universe may end, one of which is called the Big Crunch. It's sort of just the opposite of the Big Bang, which was a huge explosion that created the entire universe. All matter, galaxies, black holes, stars, and planets that we have today. Scientists have observed that the universe itself is actually continually expanding out in every direction faster than the speed of light ever since. This is because of dark energy, the dominant force that causes this expansion, and we don't exactly know how it works. The Big Crunch hypothesizes that this expansion will eventually lose its momentum, slow down, and possibly even stop. If this happens, the force of gravity of all the objects inside this enormous universe would take over dark energy as the dominant force in play. And what does gravity do? Brings everything back to the center. All objects in the universe would slowly collide inwards towards each other, bringing the edge of the universe itself in with them. The entire universe gets smaller and denser, which makes it really hot and eventually collapses back to its singular point of infinite density that was the start of the Big Bang, which may even trigger a new Big Bang, and the universe would start all over again in an infinite cycle of big bangs and big crunches that goes on forever. And we're just currently living in one of those cycles. Now, the theory here is, since space and time are directly related, as per Einstein, when the fabric of space gets smaller, so does time. Imagine the entire timeline of the universe as a spring, and passing down the spring is us passing through time. As space collapses, that timeline spring, in theory, condenses as well, making the journey of passing down the spring shorter and quicker. So whereas before, getting from, say, day 1 to day 2 on the timeline of the universe took 1 unit of perceived time, now experiencing that same segment of time from day 1 to 2 only takes 0.9 units of perceived time, resulting in the same segment of time feeling like it goes by quicker. Do you follow me here? Just like in video editing, when you bring a clip into your timeline and increase the speed by 10%, it gets shorter. So now, what if the Big Crunch has already started, and we're experiencing that slight bit of condensed time as the universe is slowly starting to shrink? Because, I mean, it would be slow at first. Time's not going to start accelerating significantly until the universe is much smaller in a couple 100 million years or whatever, where years will potentially go by in a matter of hours. What if we're in that initial stage of time shrinkage, where the length of a year feels just a little faster than what a year used to feel like? Because a year was actually supposed to end it all just a little over a decade ago, 2012. For anyone that remembers, there was a huge doomsday prophecy going around in the years leading up to 2012 based on the Mayan calendar. Now, the Mayans, they were pretty damn smart. Their empire lasted for around 3,000 years, possibly longer, until they collapsed around 900 AD. The Maya were well known for their advanced knowledge of mathematics, astronomy, and time. They developed some of the most intricate timekeeping methods that we know as the Mayan calendar. Well, calendars, actually. The Mayans had around 20 calendars, a lot of which we don't even fully understand yet. But one of their most important ones was the long count calendar, which is different from any other ancient culture's calendar in the world. Rather than basing it off the solar cycles of us going around the sun, they broke it down into a series of day-night cycles since the last creation. The largest of these cycles was a Baktun, which was around 394 years. And 13 Baktuns would make a complete age, where everything would reset back to zero. They believed they were living in the fourth age, which started in August 3114 BC. 13 Baktuns after that gives us December 21st, 2012, the end of that age, which many people thought would mark the end of the world. But what if, through some divine knowledge of the Mayans, that just marked the end of the universe expanding? And it's been collapsing ever since, as per the Big Crunch, slowly but surely speeding time up with it. Because a lot of people claim things haven't really been the same since 2012, almost like we switched timelines. Coincidentally, in that exact same year, scientists in Switzerland apparently opened a black hole using the Large Hadron Collider, aka the Big Bang machine, where particles are accelerated close to the speed of light in a 27-kilometer loop and smashed into each other, working on experiments meant to recreate the very first moments of the universe. CERN, the organization leading the research, discovered a new particle known as the Higgs boson, aka the God particle, in 2012. The Higgs boson is a special type of particle that we can't exactly interact with, but permeates the entire fabric of space and basically allows matter to exist. It's complicated, I know, which many scientists actually warned the creation of this particle may form a black hole that would consume the Earth and our entire solar system in a split second. Well, it actually might have already done that, and reality as we knew it ended in 2012. It happened so fast that none of us could notice, and we're currently living inside that black hole and are experiencing the time dilation effects of its immense gravity, or we just switch to a completely different timeline. Because if you look at it, that's also around the same time that people started having collective memories about things that never happened, known as the Mandela Effect. You know, when a large group of people recall something being different than what it really was. Popular ones like the Berenstain Bears, Jif Peanut Butter, the Monopoly Man never had a monocle, the cornucopia in Fruit of the Loom, which I swear I can remember that one. We Are the Champions doesn't end with of the world. Remember the Energizer Bunny that strolled around beating his drum? He had a battery on his back, right? Nope, it is and always has been on his leg. Like, that doesn't even make any sense. The reason we have Mandela effects in the first place is because we're living in this alternate timeline where time's speeding up, and we occasionally get faint memories from our old timeline, which we all experience together. At the end of the day, we could just be getting older and perceiving every year that goes by as slightly quicker than the last. But I don't know, something just really feels off to me. Like the passing of time itself just got accelerated by magnitudes of what it used to be. These days are flying by at lightning speed, and I can't help but feel that maybe reality as we knew it will never be the same.
CERN, portals, the Mandela Effect, time is speeding up, the 2012 theory, multiverses, reality shifts. Now, let's dive a little bit into Max Laughlin, the kid who just might be right. Some say genius borders madness, but sometimes genius just sounds like madness at first.
So there are two studios, let's say the Disney studios. One studio, Studio A, creates a film that has magic mirror on the wall. Another studio says mirror, mirror on the wall. Is it two separate studios or what happened?
No, same studio, different timeline. So, good thing we have a multi-layered napkin.
This is very high tech
Yeah.
in terms of our graphics.
Definitely sophisticated.
Go ahead.
Anyway, so as I said,
Because I love that one, because everyone remembers Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. I mean, there's
Everybody
no
does.
one, and there's a whole Sally Field, you like me, you really, really like me, blah, 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 and now
build it,
it's you
they
like
will
me.
come, build it, he will come. The peace sign.
Oh, really? I didn't know about that one.
Oh yeah, there's so much. I have a record of all the ones that I've been able to
Of course,
match. And,
of course you do.
And some other stuff that I should tell you personally about later.
Okay, can't
Anyway,
wait.
so yeah, infinity down the line from our original timeline, where here's ours, and of course this timeline is only moving forward because, well, the expansion of infinite number of realities behind it. But what happened was we made this universe sort of out of balance, and our universe,
Because of the collider, the super collider?
yeah, we altered the weight of a single electron, which I believe shifted us into a parallel universe, considering that we caused a chain reaction that could have catastrophically destroyed our universe. I mean, even when we thought about starting it, we thought our universe would implode, and then it didn't, and we're like, oh, it's okay. Well, maybe it did implode. We just instantly got shifted to another universe.
And that's your belief?
Right, in my belief. Of course, this is just a theory and it's still being developed.
Okay.
But yeah, maybe in that infinitely small moment of time, we were instantly shifted.
Could it also be that there were some people at CERN who are kind of like quantum hackers, and they go, "Ooh, we have this little vulnerability in time-space continuum, and we're going to go in and we're going to pick these iconic moments in our civilization, you know, mirror, mirror on the wall, things like, and we're going to change them just to screw up people's heads to realize that reality is not as they think it."
That could be completely possible, although there's some stories, fairy tales, campfire, scary tales that occurred at CERN, supposedly, or that are set at CERN, dimensional beings or satanic portals, a whole bunch of other crazy stuff. And a lot of people believe they have to do that to consistently maintain our universe, or bridging two universes or dimensions even together. Now, then again, they're fairy tales.
Okay.
And since when are fairy tales real? But then again, all fairy tales are based off of something. Anyway.
Back to eternity.
Right.
God.
So, when this universe was destroyed, then again, here's our progression of infinite expansion of parallel universes. And here's ours. When this one just destroyed itself, and as I said, there's an infinite number of parallel universes. That means there's an infinite possibility that everything contained within our infinite range happened, existed, will happen. For example, there's a reality where possibly maybe this world didn't even occur. Maybe there's a reality where our universe instantly started and then destroyed itself. There's an infinite number of possibilities. But however,
which is such an incredible thing to try to wrap your head around, right? It's almost impossible.
Yeah, there's...
See, just the word infinity is almost impossible to really completely understand.
Then again, there are higher levels of infinity, as you'll see in videos.
Higher levels of infinity. So yeah, infinity is not just infinity. There's variations on that theme.
Higher levels of infinity. There's smaller infinities, larger infinities. It's hard to wrap your mind around that there is something larger than everything.
Which is, how do you...
It's even a paradox as itself. It's an oxymoronic phrase.
And that's where you come back to God. Well, God could be God of the universe or the multiverse, but then...
There must be another multiverse of multiverses of multiverse where there's a universe where there is another more powerful or less powerful or equal God as we defined it in E = MC squared, the new definition of God.
So, other than you and maybe a few other people, we're really not going to figure this out, are we?
Not for a while, no, I don't think so.
What did you invent?
I invented the EHG, or Energy Horizon Gatherer, and it's an energy initiative to collect cosmic energy.
And how would you explain cosmic energy to someone who's never heard of it before?
Well, simply, cosmic energy is the expansion of space that is reverberated out. So space expands, and as it does, it releases cosmic radiation. When this cosmic radiation hits our atmosphere, it transfers into the ionosphere and sends billions of particles of charged ions, raining down on us in quantities of, billions. And so I attract them in and pick them up and collect their charge.
Awesome, and use that to make energy that we can use. So, where do you see this invention going, and has it been difficult to develop along the way?
Well, first of all, it has, yes. There's a lot of trial and error. It's the scientific process, so there's always failure involved. As far as it goes, though, hopefully by the end of this year, we'll have 2 million homes powered on this energy device in India, and soon after that, whoever else might need it.
That's awesome. And what advice would you give to young inventors out there who might want to give it a go?
Well, first of all, there's no lack of studying. You always need to make sure that you know your facts and your materials as well. And of course, just study nature and the world around you, because there's no other substitute for that either. Just experiment.
Awesome. Stay curious. Well, thank you so much for joining us on Scope.
All right. Happy to be here.
Energy, time, reality. It's all connected in ways we barely understand. With that being said, join the Facebook group. There's a lot of like-minded individuals in there. We have a large chat group where everyone is talking. So you could chat with other people that's part of the HFC tribe that you wouldn't regularly in a YouTube app. All right, so I'll take you through a lot there, right? What happens when ancient prophecy meets modern science? Even the scientists starts getting nervous. Maybe this isn't just physics. Maybe it's spiritual. Maybe the bottomless pit was never beneath us. It's right here, already open. So I gave you a lot to chew on there. Like I said, this is for entertainment purposes only. Do your own research, come to your own conclusions. As always, stay safe, stay blessed in these dark, deceptive times. If you made it this far, comment below. The portal is open. If you like content like this, tell me, yo, bring some more like that. I dig it. All right, if you're new here, subscribe. We're just getting started. HFC, signing out. Peace.